So I put that case down somewhere around here. Oh, here it is. It can tell you more about the documentation. It doesn't say on it here, but I do have the literature. Here's my invoice and stuff. Yeah, all it says is that it is SCT Astro Duo-Narrowband filter. And it's a 48 millimeter diameter, so it screws right onto the adapter plate for the Hyperstar. Very expensive, yeah. I did blow some money on this filter. It was like $280 or something like that. But that's a pretty good stacked image for the Sol Nebula. Let's go and try another nebula that's nearby. I want to try, before it gets too late, the Pac-Man Nebula, which is down below. So there's the Sol Nebula, that red patch, and if I back out on the magnification, down below we'll see the Pac-Man. Now this is kind of low in the sky. Here it is. Not sure where the apparent mouth is, whether it's on the right or the bottom left, but we will soon see. Okay, so let me do a slew command. Jack, it's a little bit too short to include H beta, so it's really just the two oxygen lines. And what's unique about the filter, I guess, is that each band is very specific. It's 10 nanometers wide, but the sides of the bandpass are very vertical lines. There's hardly any slope to it, so it's really a very specific window cutout. And the transmission's quite high. It's about 95% for each band. Okay, let's go to our camera. And I need to unhook from let me try and nudge it by saving the pictures I took. I took a couple pictures. Jack, what is the 775 filter? Wow, the Triad 2-inch? So that's for three bands, hydrogen alpha O3 and hydrogen, yeah, and oxygen 3. Got those saved, and now let's And I need to activate digital binning. Every time you reload the camera, you have to now just click go, loop. So this should be the Pac-Man. See if we see anything. There it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and stack some of these so that I have digital binning still activated. And I do. All to kaput. So let me put that back together again. Hang on a second, it's doing a 15-second integration. Yeah, there's the Pac-Man. So let's now go ahead and stack like we did before. The original in 3. Okay, and then I need to activate processor. That. Oh, here comes the third picture. That's good. Ooh, hey. So I was hoping this filter would come when the moon was still in the sky and it was still quite bright, because that's the acid test if you can use a filter like this during bright sky conditions. I have average skies. I have like magnitude 5, magnitude 5.1, 5.2. Oh, I messed with the histogram and I paid for it. So let's see. Need to undo stacking. Okay, I have it where I want it though. So now I can activate it again. I had the experience that when I had the gain up all the way, I had kind of a tough time getting stacking going. It would accumulate many, many pictures, but it wouldn't stack them. Then when I lower the gain down to around 50%, it seemed to work. I'll know more after I've used this camera a lot more. Hey, Dewey. So Dewey, we're trying the STC filter. This is that dual narrowband filter from Cyclops Optics. They're the distributor for it. Hey, now that doesn't look bad. That's the Pac-Man, looking pretty good. So I was saying that the skies that I have here are not the best. They're about magnitude 5.2, but not as bad as some have it. And I was hoping this filter would chew through that light pollution and let us see these nebulae. This is one of the better images that I've had of the Pac-Man, so it's doing well with this image. Well, Dewey, I don't know what kind of a show we're going to have. I had a kind of a panic startup as I was trying to click all this stuff together. I've been trying to make a remote setup like you're starting to work on, and that Brian Straight posted instructions to. So actually I've cobbled together all the equipment now for that remote, and now tomorrow I'm going to have to load all these MallinCam programs on the compute stick. So this is the Pac-Man. I might as well label it while I'm at it, huh? Pac-Man Nebula, let's call it. It's a fun journey. Keep having fun. Well, yeah, some of these projects get a little bit too involved for me. So I know when I've got to load all the software on that memory stick, on the, not a memory stick, it's a computer, for God's sakes. It's a compute stick. I got the CS325. So it does have onboard 4 gigabytes of RAM, which will be nice. I see I misspelled Pac-Man. Then I guess once you've misspelled, you have to redo it. Okay, Pac-Man. There we go. Looks better. Yeah, Jack, so am I. So let's see, for SkyTools 3, as you well know, so I've been in contact already with Greg Krinklaw out in New Mexico, and he says, well, he gave me a link for loading the mother program, so I'll load that on, but I'm not going to load the Trillion Atlas, Star Atlas on it, the Trillion Star Atlas, and go for 15 million stars instead. I didn't want the overload. And then you have to put on the ASCOM. There's the main parent ASCOM program for driving the scope, which I use SkyTools for. And then you have to put on the, there's a separate little file for the Celestron telescope, ASCOM. That has to go on. And then I have to port over my SkyTools directory. So I'll be porting that over. And Greg told me how to do that, so that's nice. Celestron Unified, yeah, for the CPC. I think that's right. And then, of course, you have to assign COM ports to everything and make sure that that's all working and it's going to be okay. Now, is this image still updating or has it stopped? I took a picture. Oh, maybe. Yeah, it's still going. I'll take another one. There we go. Okay, Tom. Take care. I was showing Jack earlier this is the full image now for the 16M, and I've got, obviously I should be doing a dark frame correction, but I didn't do it because, you know, I don't have hardly any hot pixels that bug me in the main image, so I get lazy and don't use it, and then I just zoom in. There's so much real estate on this chip. Hey, John. Good to see you there. We're checking out a filter, the SCT Duo-Narrowband filter. So this is a hydrogen alpha and O3 image combined. The Pac-Man's a good example. So it has a good amount of oxygen signal in it, primarily in the middle part, that cheek below the eye. A lot of that is oxygen. And then it has hydrogen as well, a lot of hydrogen. So that image comes up really well, and you can see these Bach globules, which are right here. Eye. And there's another couple of them down in here. Gosh, I can see them pretty well. Pac-Man Nebula. Yeah, John, it's been kind of lonely lately. I've had clear air here for several nights, but I haven't been on. I've been kind of taking a break. Letting Dewey and the other guys go ahead and take hold. Okay, well, let's go up to the California Nebula, take a look at that one. And before I do that, I want to unhook me from the acquisition. Off on that. Here comes our image. Yeah, everything's normal. And now let's go to Sky Tools, and I will find California. That's over in Perseus. Not far from it. Right here up by the foot of Perseus is where it's located. There it is. Let's see. Whoop. Sorry. Let's center it this way. I'll put that in the center. And ahead and slew the cursor. And here comes the telescope. Line on the nebula. Seems to, let me see if I can center this better. Maybe I can just center it when we get the image up. So already see some nebulosity. So this is a gain. The gain right now is about 50%, and the exposure time is 15 seconds. And we have digital binning running, and we are doing, I've been stacking images. So let's go ahead and live stack the original in 3. Now this nebula, I think, is relatively oxygen poor. It's mainly a hydrogen nebula. Okay, let's see. Dewey's saying he There we go. That's better. Sorry, I got dropped. But I'm with you again. Let me fix the resolution on your screen. Pull that over, and we're going to, I've been using 1440 by 1080. And let me okay that so you can see it. There we go. Yeah, there's the California Nebula. That's doing pretty good. Nice. And Jack's using that resolution as well. You know, it fills the NSN flash better, doesn't it? I like it for that reason. Makes better use of the real estate. The only way I configure to make my text of my program be visible has been to change the screen resolution on the laptop. And I think KVYCam is doing everything it can do. And then all that's left is to try with your own monitor. So I went to lower resolution to make everything bigger on the screen, all the program print. But not too satisfactory, so I've gone back to just showing the image. Physical dimension of the chip. Yes, it's not quite an inch. It's something like 23 millimeters diagonal measurement. And it's 16 megapixels. These pixels are 3.8 micrometers square. Welcome, Ski. Welcome, Steve. To see you here. Trying out a new filter tonight. This filter's allowing me to see hydrogen and oxygen. So it's a narrowband filter, which means that each band is actually about 10 nanometers. Now that's not as narrow as it could be for emission lines, but it's good for oxygen because it includes both of the oxygen lines. And it's good for me. I mean, I use a hyperstar on my telescope to get f2.3 focal ratio, which is great for doing this kind of thing. Yeah, this is the California Nebula. I better put that up. Anyway, because I have the hyperstar, there's an steepness of the light cone of the image coming in on the sensor is an issue with that. And you need a wider bandwidth in order to get all the light going through the filter. This is the California. Okay. So that does pretty well too. You know, Jack, it does look different from the hydrogen alpha filter, but in many ways it feels very similar. It'll be interesting to see some of the planetaries because hydrogen alpha doesn't pick up some of them very well, but they do very nicely with O3. Well, like the dumbbell and the Eskimo. We probably should go visit the Eskimo, although that's hard to visit. Oh. let's do that. I would grab a picture or two before we do. So here again is the whole field of view zoomed out, but I'm zooming in because I've got this amp glow effect on the borders of my chip. So I haven't done a dark frame subtraction. Hard during broadcasting, and it works very well to just mask out the borders by just zooming in a little bit. D. The star most likely providing the energetic starlight that ionizes much of the nebular gas is the bright, hot, bluish Chi Persei, just to the right of the nebula. Okay, so just to the right of it. So I'm going to try circling ski, and you say yes or no. Do you mean, for example, this one here? Are these areas here just as bright in hydrogen alpha as they are with the dual filter, the dual band filter? And Ski, did I circle the right star? Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay. Well, we would need a color camera then to sort it out, wouldn't we? Wonder what kind of distances that star has to reach to ionize all those gases. Okay. Well, it looks remarkably like the hydrogen alpha image, and maybe that's why. Maybe there's not much oxygen in this. I think you hydrogen alpha pics show more detail and depth than this filter. Just my opinion. Yeah, we had extraordinary luck on that night with that hydrogen alpha filter. But I'm going to keep hold of this one. I'm liking it so far. The hydrogen alpha was an astronomique filter with a 12 nanometer band for the hydrogen alpha. Yeah, oh, let's go to the rosette. That's a good one, and then we'll go to the Eskimo. So I can leave conditions pretty much the same if I do that. So let me click on the image here and unhook us from the stacking. Good. So we have a refresh going on with the raw image. So while it's doing that refreshing, let's go ahead and look at SkyTools and zoom in down below to Monoceros and see where I am here. Be over this way. There's the Ryan's belt. There we go. Okay, so this is the Monoceros area here, and there it is. Center it better. There we go. And then we can slew here. Now this will be interesting. The oxygen signal in the Rosetta is almost like a square box surrounding that star cluster in the middle. So we can look for that and see how well we're doing. Oh, the Rosette. Yeah, it's really faint, so that filter lets all of the signal through for that nebula, most of it, the hydrogen, and you know, all that light pollution, all the moonlight is all cut out. Okay, let's take a look here. Here's the camera. There's the Rosette. Oh, we see it already. Okay, let me tuck it down a little bit. The right way. Yes, it was, and I do it again. I'm shoving it down a little bit. I jumped out of my chair at 2 a.m. on November 18th, 2016. D. Dewey. LMAO. Dewey, the exposures are 15 seconds. Can you believe that on such a faint nebula? Okay, so let's go ahead and stack again. I haven't changed any of these settings. The original and 3, so these stacks have 4 altogether. And first one, take a hold. And then I click align. Probably just superstition, the order in which I'm clicking. Enable stacking and align the frames. Everything looks good. Checking infinity. Oh, I got kicked off. There we go. Digital binning 2 as well. Gain at 50%. 15-second exposure for the basic exposure, and then we're stacking a total of 4. Now, Dewey, I see the oxygen. And it's this structure right here. It's almost like a square. So that nebulosity that you see in that area, that is the oxygen signal. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Let's see if this is going to work. Gotta tap the screen or dance a jig. It's not going to catch. No, I'm not stacking. Well, I click to disable the stacking, and I've got the spinning wheel. Oh, well, you're gone too. Heard you there for a second. Do you hear me now? Rusty in Oklahoma. Hey, all right. Thank you, guys. I don't know. Headset had a glitch. I don't know what's happening. Well, that's a fantastic one. And Dewey, I wanted to show you the oxygen. Did you see it here? Do you see the square box? That's a strong oxygen signal that that you can see with an oxygen image. If you go and just Google this rosette and look at for oxygen, you can see. So that's pretty cool stuff. This is both the oxygen and the hydrogen. Okay, so let's go to the Eskimo Nebula and see how we're doing there. How about the cone? Yeah, we can do the cone. Let's go to there because I can keep the settings the same. I'm going to grab this picture while I'm at it. Then I'm going to unhook us from the stacking. And let's see here. There's the raw image back. Great. Like to see that. And now we're going to the cone, which is nearby. I think I can just dial that up on my the Cone Nebula. Cone. Yep, there it is. Okay. So there's the cone, and it's just above the rosette. So I can salute a cursor. There we go. Comes the scope. Okay, and I will now go to the camera. So I see the Christmas tree nebula. That's really clear. That's right here. This triangle of stars. They call it Christmas tree nebula. And our cone is down in this area. So let's just stack some images. Keeping my settings the same because it's going to be very similar for the rosette as it is for the cone. Okay, so the original and 3 is what we're going to do. And I will make sure that I have affinity set for doing this. There. And I will click Align. And there's a 50-point spread only on the histogram, so it's a pretty restricted range. Got the says there are 3 pictures in now, so we should hopefully stacking happening. It says okay, but I don't see any results on the screen yet. Doug has to stop testing filters on broadcast, costing me money. Oh dear, don't mean to do that. You're the one that's costing me money with all those beautiful cameras. Now, isn't that strange? Let me, if this doesn't work, I will try and save those pictures. That might jog it into action. Batch saving. Filter wheel. Oh, Dewey, 3 slots. Come on, come on, come on. Takes a bit to save these images as PNG. I don't know why. Because it's a full data format. There they go. There they go. So I can now get rid of them. I'm going to have to try it again. I lost the pictures and I lost my camera. Okay, well, let's try this. Undo the ROI and do the digital binning, and then bring that histogram up. Fix it here. And then just go ahead and get an image. Like that. 15 seconds. 15 seconds again, and gain at 50%, and digital binning 2x2. Not stacking yet. And let's see if we can see. So I can see the cone. I'm going to check your screen and make sure everything's set. Yes, it is. Okay, so let's go down to that histogram. I've noticed that the stacking algorithm doesn't like to have a black background. Definitely likes to have some background. So I have clicked original and 3. This should come up pretty well if we're already seeing it in the raw picture. First one's in. Yeah, there it is. You can see the cone now. So let's see. I'm going to darken it. I've left a line. I'm not doing any aligning. Let's see what happens here. The dark set on the histogram is not working. Now it is. That's better. The problem of computing the image for such a big 16 megapixel image. Although right now we are at 1/4 of that, 4 megapixels. Okay, well, let's now try and go to the Eskimo Nebula, okay? Do that. I'm going to select this. There it is, a planetary nebula. Include a cursor. All right, let's see what happens now at the Eskimo. We have to wait for the camera to get there. See where it's gone to. The Eskimo is right there in the Gemini, and the scope has taken a route around to the north to come back down on this west side, east side actually. East side of the meridian. The meridian and the plot there is the white line running vertically. Coming down from the upper left, that's the telescope. Hey, Rusty. My own impression is that for galaxies, you want all the light you can get, and your camera is the perfect camera for doing galaxies. I suppose if you were severely light polluted, you could benefit some, but you know, half or more of the light of galaxies is in the red and infrared, and your camera's collecting that. Well, there it is. Now, we're way overexposed, so let's cut back our exposure. And I'm going to stop, and then we are going to undo the digital binning. Don't need that. There. And then we're going to take the exposure down. Let's take it down to 5 seconds and loop it just to see what it's going to look like. Wow, it disappeared. What in the devil happened, do you think? Okay. So let's increase the exposure time. From 5, let's take it back to 15. Oh, I bet it's on my histogram. It's my, I have to fix the histogram. Let's go down there and fix that histogram. Yep, that was it. We're going to zoom in here. Oh, there's the Eskimo. He's upside down. And you can kind of see the fringe on the parka of his hood, which is right here, over his forehead. He's upside down. He has a nose. These are the two eyes right in here, and the mouth. Yeah, not bad for a small target. It's a very small target. Get rid of the drawings and so that is no digital binning, a histogram of about 125, and the gain is the same, 50% of maximum, and exposure time here is 5 seconds. It's actually a good exposure for it. If I shorten it, let's try shortening that exposure down to 2, 3. Okay, so let's loop that. This is a 3-second exposure now. And I wonder how that's going to, I can't see the hood very well. So I'm going to go back to 5. And then, you know, what we can do with this is stack it with averaging. So let's do that. Second one's in already. But I'm not seeing anything. Let me fix my affinity. There we go. So hang on, this will correct itself. We had the scope lurched. Or, I know what's happening. I don't have alignment on. So we're right on the meridian. So we've got a lot of rotation happening. Let's try it again. First one's in, second one's in. I just clicked align. There we go. Now it's getting smoother. Right. And pick another one. That's not bad. That's kind of a picture like Rusty would get out with his exterminator. But this is the DS16m. Monochrome image of the Eskimo. Hey, Daryl. And Mark and Connie. Oh, it's my buddy Connie. Connie, are you going to the Star Party up at Johnstown? I just made my room reservation. I hope to go there. See you all again. Let's see, this is the Eskimo. I didn't position it very well, did I? There we go. I was going to. I had to cancel. They're taking elderly parents up to French River. Well, that will be nice. Dewey's coming. Sorry about that. So sad to hear. Well, let's see what other targets we could hit up. I'm going to take a look and see what we did. There's the O3 filter. We did M1. Oh, we can't do the little... Can I do the Crystal Ball Nebula? 1514, is that still up? Let's try it. Try tools. Ball. Let's take a look and see where it got to. This is the Crystal Ball. It's by Perseus. Oh, that's not too bad. No, that's about 45 degrees altitude right now, so let's give it a shot. This is a very green nebula, so it must be quite oxygen rich. Might be good for this filter. That's why I picked it. Let's see if we can go and visit this one. Oh my goodness. Scope is having to travel around the sky to reach it. Sorry about that, folks. Oh well. What software is that, Doug? This is called SkyTools. It's got an observing page that has a list of all of your observing list that has all your objects. You can sort it by altitude and azimuth, and you can sort it by brightness and rising times and all kinds of things. I'm so busy. Usually I just sort it by name. Here comes the telescope coming in from the right. That flashing X, if you see it occasionally. Oh, the crystal ball was right near the California Nebula. And it went to a comet. Let's do that again. Move the cursor. Sometimes it screws up, especially when it goes around the whole sky like that. There it went. Okay, so now we can go and check out our camera. And I need to stop the... Didn't stop it. Damn it. Let's see if the computer will sort it out. Sometimes in a few seconds the spinning blue wheel resolves. Means I've lost my pictures again. Aha. Okay, batch saving. Two more images to convert. I save these pictures in PNG format. Now, At least I saved the pictures. I think I lost the camera. Here it comes. So we have gone to a dim planetary. Still, I'm going to keep it the way it was because we're going to want to zoom quite a bit. So I'm not going to do digital binning. And let's just start looping with 5 seconds and see what happens. And I'll quick scoot down to the histogram. And I have lowered the white set down so that we might be able to see this. There it is in the middle, I think. Right there. So let's see. Let's go up and do a 15-second. That. This is a black and white camera, so we're not going to see any color. And Jack says he's been using this
operation completed
testing. Jack, have you heard anything about whether or not we're going to get SkyTools 4? Okay, let's see if we can. Let's try and stack a few of these. And I'm going to have to add the affinity for MallinCam Sky again. Oh, it's still, go figure, it's still on, even though I had to reload the camera. First picture's in. Let's see what we can do with stacking to make this image look better. I got the okay, so maybe we'll get some, and you can see the progress bar working down below. Dewey, what mount are you using? I have the, yeah, Jack's told you, it's the CPC 9¼ inch in azimuth mode. We are currently testing and adding finishing touches to SkyTools 4, which has been many years in development. That is all the web says. Okay, well, maybe it's going to be coming out soon. That'd be nice. What we want it to do is update this image. See if it will. Maybe if I drop the dark set a little bit, that'll help. Well, it looks smoother, so I think we got frame averaging going on. We're doing the original in 3. So that's a stack of 4. Let's see if it clears out. Yeah, a blurry spot. Nope. Got worse. So just for fun, I'm going to watch and see what happens to that star. Doug, while you are in this part of the sky, why not try IC 443? Okay, sounds like a plan. M35. Not refreshing. Now, one thing I've not done yet with the camera is to see if it's such a big file size. I mean, there's 16 million pixels. All of them have to get kind of shade of gray from 0 to 255, and it's just a lot of processing. I'll grab this image anyway. Okay. Well, let's go to Jack's object. I see 443. Have it here, so I'm going to have to add it. I see 443. There it is. Add to the list. Sounds like it's probably one of those faint H2 regions. There it is, right there. In the interactive atlas. Aha. Right here it is. See what we get. Simple program. The manual says ski is only 694 pages long. Well, how simple can you get? If you're talking about SkyTools, it's a very capable program. Okay, let's go. The telescope is there. And let's see if I can wash that picture away. Ugh. There I go again.
Operation completed.
Well, let's see what we got. Gain at 50%. 15 seconds is our looping time. And I know this is an H2 region, so we're going to activate digital binning. Well, why isn't that working? Let me close everything and open it again. Well, let's see. "15 seconds. There we go. Skyraider camera. On. And digital binning at 2. And loop. And histogram. Crazy behavior now. I can't. There it is. Came in. Hey, Jack, I actually see something there. This is a rather big nebula. This is the so-called Monkey Head Nebula. like the Crescent Nebula on a smaller scale. Oh. Oh, I see it. We're definitely going to try and stack some now. Okay, let's do it. So take it down. Original in 3. First one is in. And I will go ahead and check out my Infinity. Okay, we have selected one processor. We got an OK. Image is coming along. Opus at the bottom. Boy, Jack, you know your stars better than I do. Mag 3.5. I saw this in Sky Safari, well, at the Winter Star Party, and decided to go for it. Okay, so it says that everything's go and okay. So we're waiting for it now. There it goes. Waiting for it to update. Should get quite bright. Oh, I'm averaging. Sorry about that, folks. Let's let it run through and get it raw, and then we'll do it again. Okay, so I'm clicking now on additive. There we go. That's my fault. Okay, the first is in the dock. Hopefully it'll work well again. It's very smooth. Yes, very a smooth crescent. Does look like a crescent. It says okay. Ah, here we go. Now let's see what's going to happen. Hey Jack, look at that. It does have crescent-like arcs there, doesn't it? Look at that. This is kind of marvelous. I've never seen this one before. That's a nice discovery, huh? Let's turn that down a little bit. I can. Back the
operation completed.
cycling. Let me check my sometimes when you change the histogram, you just have to be patient. There's a lot of processing going on. And it makes me nervous that I'm using one processor for the sake of stacking. Clearly need every processor I can get my hands on. The Jellyfish Nebula. Oh, so those are the tentacles, Rusty, eh? Coming down? Crazy program. Won't let me. Jellyfish Nebula. Oh, it's not the jellyfish, but it's similar. I can't make it darker. I'm waiting. It seemed to be jammed or something. Don't know what the holdup is. Let me try and save these. Sometimes saving jolts the program. Jolt it in the wrong way. Well, it saved them. There it goes. Okay, now I have a chance of going here to the histogram. I put the dark set now about halfway up the slope on the histogram. In fact, I'm going to raise it one more, put it halfway. We should see the images darken. There it goes. Five. Now it's getting better. Yeah, there's that bright, looks like cloud tops, doesn't it? It's really quite a remarkable nebula. Well, Jack, thanks for introducing me to this guy. And it has those trailing plumes coming off. It does kind of look like a jellyfish. Well, let's take a look at this guy. Maybe we'll think of something we can look at. There's Lauer's Nebula. Have you ever done that one? Is that the monkey head? SH2-261? Let's try that one. That's nearby also. So to do it, I just go down here and unhook. Okay, so SH2-261. That is not here. So let me put it on the list. 261. I think this is the monkey head. $261. Add it to the list. Maybe I had it already over in the alternate list. Oop, oop, oop. I'm going too quick. Page 2, 261, Lauer's Nebula. Right up here in the arm of Orion. Let's see if it's still within reach. Yeah, it's about 30 degrees down from the zenith. So if and here, salute a cursor. Faint, huh? Well, maybe we should look at the Crab Nebula too. That's about 40 degrees up, and it has definite oxygen in it. Okay. Well, there's something. So I'm going to try stacking 3 again. 3 plus 1. Oh, John, you're welcome. Hope to see you again. Hawk globules. You know what? I should lower this down, shouldn't I? Because I've got a lot of the nebula up off the screen. But we can see it. Look at that, Jack. So that's in the upraised hand of Orion, SH2 261. I'll go ahead and put a label on it. Sorry, I haven't been doing this. So it's an ionization nebula, probably a lot of hydrogen alpha, maybe some O3. Yeah, that came out pretty well. Do I have most of it, or is there some above the field of view here that we're missing? Let's zoom over now and take a look at the Crab Nebula. How's that, okay? I think for the Crab, I might do that without digital binning. So let me unhook the stacking. Snap a picture of it. Oh, it was centered. Huh, okay. I had it centered after all. Ooh, it's got some interesting structure in it, doesn't it? Looks sort of like a ball now that I've centered it better. The bright and dark portions. And we'll go to the Crab M1. Crab Nebula. Right there. There it is. So let's go to that. I don't think I have it. Yep. Okay. There's the crab. There it is. Ooh, mysterious, huh? Oxygen and hydrogen we're looking at. That's going to be pretty good. And let me try and let's try and do the stacking on that as well. Okay. First one's in. Jack, what did you find out about Bach globules? I would be surprised if there was a separate index for that. They're kind of specific to each nebula ski. Yeah, I'm not surprised, I think. Oh, this is going to be nice. See if I can darken the that was too much, so let me see. I have unclicked live stacking. There's the basic image. Let's just go back and do it again. The original M3. I'm going to reduce my dark set down to 43. Okay, here we go. The Crab Nebula M1. With the narrowband filter, dual narrowband. Says okay. We're doing additive stacking. There it brightens. It's almost too bright. Yeah. I pulled the histogram out. So now we have a 100 count range on the histogram. It's also going to make it look smoother. Probably could pull it out even more. You know, I've never seen these crab legs looking so crabby before. Yeah, it's nice. Those filaments are really popping out. This is, however, exclusively the signal for hydrogen and for oxygen. Not seeing all that synchrotron radiation, which is a continuous emission in the visible range. So I guess when you remove all that continuous background, it really snaps into a very jaggedy looking object. Okay, let's see. Well, does somebody else have a favorite we could visit? I like this filter. I think it's doing pretty well for me. I'll go to the Atlas page and we can browse around and pick something that we know. I'll get rid of that label. There's a Flaming Star Nebula in Auriga, but that's a primarily reflection. Although, we could do that one. Flaming Star. There we go. Flaming Star. E. Flaming Star Nebula. I should just go there and find it. I don't see it on the chart. Enter Auriga. There's the Flaming Star right there. The nice ionization nebula. It's also a reflection nebula. And that's the flame part of the Flaming Star Nebula. So we shouldn't see that. The reflection nebula, these kind of strands of smoke, that reflects, the reflected starlight. Oop, 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 oop. Ah, that was lucky. Okay. Let's see if we get our basic picture. And oh, there we go. So, there's the nebulosity. You can just see it in the middle of your frame. And let's go ahead and align stack 3 and 1. So 3 plus 1. There we go. While that's cooking, I can label it up. It would be fun to know, how much of each image signal is made of oxygen and what part is made of hydrogen. Kind of a big involved cloud. And it's kind of fun because there's a star from the Orion trapezium, which is right here. This one is AE Aurigae. This star has been catapulted out of the trapezium and is flying through the constellation of Auriga. It's flying through at a rather slow rate, but it's that was its origin thousands or millions of years ago. Now, I need to get the alignment tool working. So I clicked the line. So let's see if that's going to help us. And I'm going to do a better job of darkening this down. Let's see if the program will stick with us. Oh, that's better. A series of dots is better than streaks. And then if we can reduce the number of dots down to 1, we'll be happy. Yeah,